All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are looking at a really radical new map of reality. It's a framework that claims it can solve some of the biggest, deepest mysteries in all of physics, so you're going to want to stick around for this one. And we're starting with the biggest question of all. You know, mainstream science, for all of its incredible power, is basically haunted by this massive blind spot. It can describe the stars, the planets, you and me, but here's the kicker. It freely admits that all of that, it's just a tiny fraction of what's really out there. So, what on earth makes up the other 95%? So here's how we're going to tackle that. First, we'll dig into that unseen 95%. Then, we'll introduce a totally new cosmic blueprint. From there, we'll use it to explain the universe's outbreath and inbreath. Then, reimagine black holes as portals. And finally, see how the whole thing clicks together in a model where the universe is literally playing a game with itself.
Okay, Section 1, the Great Cosmic Mystery. For decades now, astronomers have noticed that the universe is acting, well, weird. Galaxies are spinning way too fast, and the expansion of space itself is actually speeding up. We have no idea what's causing it, so scientists have given these mysteries two placeholder names, dark matter and dark energy.
And this right here, this shows you the sheer scale of what we don't know. Everything we can see and touch, all the stars, galaxies, all the stuff of life, that makes up a measly 5% of the cosmos. The rest is this dark stuff, this invisible architecture that's pulling all the strings. This is the central puzzle we're setting out to solve today.
So how do we even begin to solve a puzzle that big? Well, Section 2 introduces a pretty wild idea. Instead of hunting for new, exotic particles, this framework says we need a completely new map, a radical blueprint for reality itself.
And here is the core of that new map. The universe isn't a straight line that started with a big bang and just goes on forever. Nope. In this model, it's a torus, a self-contained kind of donut-shaped loop. It suggests reality is a super complex, 12-dimensional system, where the source and the destination are actually the same point. It's a closed loop where nothing is ever really lost.
So what's driving this cosmic engine? Well, it's two singularities. They're identical mathematically, but they do the exact opposite thing. You've got the alpha singularity, the source, which pushes outward, creating space and everything in it. And then you have the omega singularity, the sink, which pulls inward, drawing everything back into one unified consciousness. The tension between this cosmic push and pull is what makes the whole universe go.
Which brings us right here to Section 3. We've got the blueprint, now let's use it. We're going to see if this torus model can offer a pretty elegant explanation for that mysterious 95% we started with.
So according to this model, we've been looking at dark matter and dark energy all wrong. They aren't weird, exotic things hiding out there in the dark. They're just the echoes, the observable effects of the universe's two most basic movements, a cosmic outbreath and a cosmic inbreath. Let's break that down. Dark energy, that's the outbreath. It's that constant outward push from the alpha singularity that makes space expand. You could almost think of it as the heat coming off a cosmic computer as it processes reality. And dark matter? Well, that's the inbreath, the gravitational pull from the omega singularity, drawing all consciousness and all information back home.
And that little 5% of stuff we can actually see, that's just the image on the screen. It's the balancing point, right where the outward push of dark energy and the inward pull of dark matter meet and kind of shake hands. We're not seeing the actual machinery, just the pixels.
Okay, so if this model can explain the biggest structures in the universe, what about its most mysterious objects? Section 4 takes this same logic and gives us a completely new way to think about black holes. So first thing, forget everything you thought you knew about black holes being cosmic vacuum cleaners that just destroy stuff. In this model, they have a much cooler job. They're portals. They're like drains in the fabric of our space-time, connecting our little corner of reality to a much, much wider multiverse. So how does that work? Let's walk through it. First, the black hole acts like a drain, sucking in matter and information. Second, as that stuff passes through the singularity, it gets filtered, stripped of all the extra noise from its original timeline. And third, it shoots out the other side as a white hole, outputting pure, refined information that becomes the seed for a brand new reality. Now this is where it gets really wild. Because the singularity at the heart of a black hole exists outside of our normal linear time, one black hole in our universe isn't just connected to one white hole. No way. It can be the source for an infinite number of them,
all across the multiverse, constantly recycling energy and information. Mind-bending, right?
All right, in our last section, let's tie all these threads together. We're going to zoom out and look at the grand, unified logic of this whole cosmic architecture. Probably the easiest way to get your head around this whole thing is to think of it like a computer. Consciousness, that's the user, and it's also the power source. Light and vibration, that's the basic code. Space-time is the user interface we interact with. Black holes, they're like USB ports, transferring data. And the multiverse, that's the infinite cloud storage for every possible reality.
So the huge takeaway from all of this is pretty profound. If this model is right, the universe is a perfectly self-contained system. It's a closed loop where all the energy and information just gets recycled over and over again. The beginning point, alpha, and the end point, omega, are actually the very same thing. And that leaves us with one last really provocative thought from the source material. If the beginning is the end, and the whole journey is just a loop designed for the sake of experience, then this entire cosmic drama, all the expansion, the complexity, the return, it's all just a kind of divine game. A game where consciousness pretends to lose itself, just for the fun of finding its way back home.